My surgery was scheduled for November 5th, 2021. Leading up to the surgery, I had a few appointments to go over what to expect, I had to get blood work done, and I had to do a COVID test, since this was still during the COVID time era. Thankfully, all prior tests came back fine, and I was able to get my surgery done the day it was scheduled, instead of being forced to reschedule. I was particularly worried that I would have to wait for 2022, in which we would have to pay more for the surgery since the deductible would start all over again with the new year. Just as with top surgery, I got a cleaning solution that I used the night before and before leaving for the surgery, which was scheduled for noon on a Friday. I had to wear clean pajamas and sleep in clean sheets the night before, and wear clean pants that would be easy to pull down after surgery. Of course, you don't eat anything leading up to the surgery, and you can only drink up until a certain point. The doctors wanted me to drink a whole bottle of Gatorade in the morning for the electrolytes. I got the surgery done by Dr. Uli of Sharp. When I went in, I got changed into a dressing gown, then they put the IV in me. And ever since the surgery, I have a huge fear of IVs. They stuck it in me, which was actually very painful, and I think they ran something through it right away. I suddenly struggled to breathe. I was literally choking for air, my anxiety was triggered so hardcore, and I thought I was suffocating. After a bit, I was able to gain control back and calm down, but this was one of the worst parts of the surgery. I took a few pain medications that I wasn't able to take all of them, and then they rolled me on into the operating room. They put me on the table, and that's all I remember. I was in surgery for 2 or 3 hours, getting the laparoscopic partial hysterectomy. Essentially, this means it's robot assisted, with robots going in through tiny incisions to pull out the cervix, uterus, and fallopian tubes. I left the ovaries in. I then moved to the recovery room, as everything had gone fine. I was very groggy, coming in and out. Eventually, I woke up and got out of bed. I felt insanely nauseous, like I was going to throw up, and then they made me walk to the bathroom to try and go pee. But I wasn't able to do anything, so I just went super slowly back to the bed and slept off the nausea. When I next woke up, I heard them talking about preparing a room for me in order to stay the night. It was after 9 p.m. by this point. I felt much better and steadier on my feet, so I tried to go to the bathroom again, and since I was able to pee, I was able to leave. So we left around 10 p.m. That night, I was super awake and kept having to go pee thanks to all the fluids from the IV. I slept on the downstairs couch since I wasn't allowed to use the stairs, but the next day I was actually able to get up them pretty easily. So the surgery was actually not that bad, apart from the near suffocation before it happened and the nausea after I woke up. I walked around very often to avoid blood clots. Yet since I wasn't feeling much pain, I sometimes overdid it with the walking and then was more couch-bound the next day. Pain-wise, top surgery had been worse, and even that was just due to the drains. Despite not feeling much pain, I still took the pain meds for the first 4 or 5 days, since the doctor wanted me to alternate between 2 different pain medications every 3 hours, which felt like it was pretty overdoing it. One thing I wasn't expecting but is completely normal after an intense surgery is constipation. I was horribly constipated for 3 days after the surgery, so just be aware of this. Another thing is that you're going to see blood in your pee as if you're on a cycle. This is of course normal, considering that you just got operated on. This clears up after a few days, and after that, you're free. I was out of work for 6 weeks, and it needed to be the full 6 weeks, because Dr. Uli didn't want any sweat infecting the incisions, nor have me bend down or move in weird ways that would injure my insides. You can drive after 2 weeks, and if you're not on your feet and have a desk job, you can probably return after 2 weeks as well. But my doctor also kept me out of work because she didn't want me stressed out, so even if I just stood at the register during a lunch rush and didn't really move much, it could still be stressful with the environment. So if you have a stressful desk job, you still might be out longer. Since I was out of work for 6 weeks, I was able to get on disability. I was allowed to resume Tai Chi after 2 or 3 weeks, so long as I didn't sink in the stances and was being very careful, though I believe I went back after 4 weeks. After 6 weeks, I eased into Kung Fu again. This is a good point to mention that you'll want to get into exercise if you haven't already, in order to strengthen your core and pelvic area. Upon doing later research, I learned that many people who have gotten hysterectomies have had pelvic organ prolapse, where the pelvic organs collapse inside. Strengthening the pelvic floor muscles through specific exercises will help prevent this, especially as you get older. The surgery ended up being about $100,000, so you definitely want to be sure you get those referral letters to have insurance cover this, and meet your deductible beforehand. The insurance covered a good chunk of the cost, plus it looked like the hospital overcharged me and took off part of the bill after the fact. I only had to pay about $3,600, which is way better than it could have been.